listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting The Coffee Hour. You can find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
We have a fun story today.
Yeah.
We want you to come join us. Come join the dark side. No, it's not the dark side.
No.
That's another series.
We do have cookies, though.
We have cookies?
I mean, sometimes we do.
That's true.
And pie and soup and cake. And
yes, we're having
all
soup
kinds of
soon.
Food. We really enjoy food.
We haven't even announced that.
It's a teaser.
Soup coming soon to the Coffee Hour.
It's true.
In February.
Yes, very soon, actually.
It's going to be super. So we're inviting you to come join us. Well, see, we're looking for new talent to join our team. Maybe if you've visited our social media or our website, you might have seen a post about that. We're looking for new talent to join our team. We're going to talk about what it means to be a part of the team here at KFUO. You're actually going to learn a little bit about what we actually do behind the scenes.
Other than this.
I might discover something that I do every day. That I don't pay attention to.
That would be interesting.
Wouldn't it, though? And joining us today for the conversation, we'll get to dig in a little bit more here about what it means to work at the International Center, what it's like to work at the International Center. With Derek Olson, he's Human Resources Specialist at the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod International Center here in St. Louis. And his office is 20 feet from my office, too?
Yeah, they put us right next to HR.
That's right.
That's a good plan. That was wise. Derek, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
Thank you very much.
We haven't officially introduced you on the Coffee Hour. Generally, when there's someone new in the building, we try to introduce them on the Coffee Hour when there's someone that we interact with at KFUO. We haven't done that yet. We need to bring Jason in too.
You do, guilty
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring him in.
Both of you joined the team within the last 5 years?
I started September 22, and he started I think the year before that.
So in the last 5 years. So when in a little bit, we'll talk about what it's like to join the team here at the International Center, what it's like to work in the International Center, and that whole onboarding process. So having recently gone through that yourself, I think you're going to have some fresh insights for us.
Absolutely.
So we have a new position here at Team KFUO, we'll call it that, at LCMS Radio, KFUO Radio. Mm-hmm. What is the position that we're looking to fill?
So it's the Digital Media Associate position, which is going to work with me. So I need to hire someone else for my team because I started, 7.5 years ago now?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute in a new position. So I kind of just created a lot more work for myself, basically, and now I need another person to help with all the things that we do now online and with podcasting and all of these things. So,
well, in the time that you've been here, in the 7-something years that you've been here, there's certainly been some growth as well.
Absolutely.
With KFUO, and particularly in social media. So let's talk for a minute about social media. Mm-hmm. Everybody talks about social media, but particularly what social media means for us and how we at KFUO use it, particularly Sarah, how you use it because you're in charge of it. Okay, so I think we've talked a little bit about the fact that Sarah is in school right now. Andy's in school too. We haven't talked much about this, but both of us are in school right now too.
We are.
Not at this very second.
And not in the same program.
And not in the same program. This is true. What are you learning about? You're learning about leadership, right?
I am. I'm doing organizational leadership at Concordia Irvine.
Very cool.
It's very fun. I love it.
Every day you come in with new ideas and insights, and
it's great.
Always it's been, I think, very motivating and encouraging for you because you always have some insight to share, which is very valuable. Very
real life applicable, which is what they want. So I'm learning stuff, and literally the next day coming in hey, I can use this today. This is great.
Exactly. All right. So I'm in the Concordia University, Wisconsin, Ann Arbor Business Skills for Faith-Based Organizations program. Had to think about that long title for a minute.
It's a long title.
It's a gateway to an MBA, Master's in Business Administration. Mm-hmm. And currently the course that we're in right now is Social Media Strategies.
So you're interviewing me for your course.
So I may or may not be doing this for an assignment. I didn't disclose that before we scheduled this interview, did I? No, this is not an assignment for my class. Although my instructor, Mr. Hannes, might find it interesting to see what we actually do here at KFUO when it comes to social media. We are working on a social media plan for this class, so I'm just going to take notes of what you talk about today.
That's what stealing all my ideas. That's fine.
Okay, so one of the things we read about recently in class is that there's an article from Wild Apricot, which Do you pronounce it apricot or apricot?
Definitely
in
apricot.
Apricot in Michigan? Okay.
Well, me. That's
You. Okay.
That's how I do it.
So Wild Apricot is a company that helps small organizations with planning and strategy, and recently read an article from them about social media strategy. And it's important. You know, a lot of us think, okay, it's a small organization. They're like, some organizations only have like 2 or 3, maybe 5 people on the team. We've got to be on social media. And so just jump right in. And instead of actually taking the time to learn about each platform, how it might be useful to them, and developing a plan, just jumping right in and then becoming, I don't know, disheartened with how it's working for them.
Or bored. Yeah.
Yes. So having a social media strategy is valuable. How do we use social media here at KFUO? I see all great posts and things like that all the time, and I see engagement from people who are responding to posts, but what are you aiming for when you're working with social media here at KFUO? And then we'll talk about how much time you spend in social media.
Less now, thankfully, now that we have better scheduling platform. So there's 3 buckets of what we do with our social media. What I do with our social media.
Buckets. All right,
buckets.
We're using buckets.
I like buckets. So there's 2 big ones and then a little smaller one. So the first thing is kind of like a teaching platform, and that's mostly in the images that we do. So if you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, you'll find images every day. So those generally go out in the morning, and we have Memory Verse Monday. So that is the Bible verse, memory verse for the week that is in collaboration with LCMS Communication. So if you follow both of us, you'll see that both of us have the same memory verse, but it's a different graphic because I make ours and they make theirs. And then every Friday we do Catechesis Friday. So that's another teaching opportunity for you to have a little bit of the small catechism. We do like Nicene Creed. We do Athanasian Creed during the summer. What starts on Trinity Sunday. We do Athanasian Creed over the summer.
How many weeks? Was that like 16 weeks?
Oh, that is a lot of weeks.
Yeah.
It's around there. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Should've
fine.
asked for numbers.
It's cool. I don't remember. It's a lot. I just did a series on Christian questions with their answers, which is a part of the hymnal/catechism that's very useful for preparation for the Lord's Supper. Very underutilized resource in my personal opinion. So I did that for several weeks. So that Friday post is an opportunity for a catechism reminder. Then there's also the rest of the week in the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a lot of hymn verses, Bible verses, those kinds of things that when you scroll past them on your feed, it's a time for you to remember a hymn or learn a hymn if you don't know it, or have a Bible verse those come out of the chapel schedule at the International Center. So it's stuff that's appropriate for the season of the church year that we're in. And then on the weekends, we follow... I implemented 1-year lectionary for KFUO, partially because LCMS Social covers 3-year lectionary. So between the 2 of us, we've got both lectionaries covered. So those posts are the hymn of the day for Sunday, and that posts on Sunday. And then on Saturday is the lectionary readings for the 1-year lectionary. So we're constantly focused on the church year over the weekend to remind us where we are. So that's kind of the biggest part, the part that takes the most of my time, because I have to design all that stuff and schedule it and figure out where we are, all of those things. So then the second big bucket is sharing our programs, because of course KFUO, this is what we do. We put out programs. We have Bible studies and the coffee hour. We have all of our podcasts. So that's our bread and butter of what we do. So that's the second big bucket. Every day I schedule one of the posts one of the programs that's happened in the last few days. And a lot of times on Facebook, at least, those are the highlights, because you can overpost on Facebook. So those are if we have a new series on one of the Bible study programs, or if we have one of our new series on the coffee hour, or if a new podcast is posted, those types of things go on Facebook. Everything goes on Twitter. So if you follow us on Twitter/X, you can find all of our programs there.
Which we do have 2 new series on the coffee hour.
Yes.
We have the LCMS History series with Dr. Mackenzie, which is so fun.
It's so fun.
And we also return to Mental Health Mondays. So we're doing a short series with Dr. Saunders on that. Martin Luther on mental health, which is just fascinating. I know you missed out on some of those episodes.
I did. That's all right.
But
I was still on vacation. Yeah.
We'll get you back in.
Yeah. And then the smallest part that I do on Facebook and Twitter is also just awareness of the Synod, because we are a broadcasting, informational, pushing out information about what's happening around the Synod. I use social in kind of the same way that we do that on the coffee hour. So sharing stuff from other RSO, recognized service organizations, events that are happening in the building, Lutheran Witness, Reporter, Engage, articles, those types of things from around the Synod, so that if people are following us, they're also going to know about the stuff that's happening across the Synod, to bring us all, kind of aligning us with Synod-wide initiatives and things like that, so that people are aware of what's happening around the Synod as well.
And that takes a little bit of time
to
put all that together. Because you're also, a lot of those things, the images you talked about earlier, quite often you're designing the images because you happen to have a background in that.
I do, yes.
So organizing that content and designing a lot of it as well, putting it all together, takes some time. You're also involved in the coffee hour.
Yep.
There's this other podcast.
Yeah. Lutheran Ladies Lounge. No big deal. It's a big thing.
And that has a whole social media component as well.
Yes, it does.
A community that
2 extra platforms.
Connected on Facebook and
Instagram.
So those things kind of take a little bit of time.
Yes.
Also editing.
Yep.
So what are some other things? What does a day look like for Sarah? I know that no 2 days are identical, but there's probably a pattern in your days.
There is a pattern. Well, every day podcasts have to be posted, hopefully correctly. Sometimes I mess things up. Just this morning, an email. This podcast doesn't work. Yes, that's because I did it wrong. But I can fix things too. So podcast posts happen every day. And that is, I think, 5 or 6 that are daily ones, plus the weekend ones, plus extra podcasts that we do from ministries around the building. So there's a lot of podcast posts that happen every day. That's like the first thing I do, because it's probably the most important thing.
Right. Those have to be out on it.
Those need to happen as soon as possible, right? So that stuff happens, and that posts on our website and on podcast apps. So it's 2 separate platforms that I got to enter all of the information in and make sure everything's right across both of those. And then social media planning happens every day too. So that sometimes that means designing new images. Sometimes it just means pulling old ones. I have a huge library of stuff now. So sometimes it just means pulling stuff, but I schedule those things across all 5 of our platforms, really, including Ladies Lounge. And then I do email blasts every Monday. I do the emails that go out every week to congregations and listeners. So that's pulling together the programming from the last week. And then on top of that, I also do our Ladies Lounge editing that happens every week, Ladies Lounge recordings that happen every week or every other week. And then all of just like the advertising things, because we advertise in LCMS periodicals and all the other graphic designs. If we have a mailing, Share-a-thon is coming up, y'all. So that means that the next 3 months of my life will be Share-a-thon mailings and graphics and all of that. So, and also the website, just making sure everything is up to date to the best of my ability and just making sure all of our online presence is up to date and accurate, and also just designing a bunch of stuff for everything. So it's
just
a lot.
Few things.
Yeah, just a couple.
So if these things are part of your wheelhouse, if this is your language that you speak, stick around. We're going to talk more about this opportunity here at KFUO. If podcasts and publishing podcasts, posting on social media, particularly posting in a way that really communicates who we are as Lutherans and what it is we believe about God's word and what he has done for us. And communicating that clearly on social media is something that really speaks to you. If that's your language, stick around. You want to learn more about the opportunity to join us on the team here at KFUO. You are listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
At Concordia University, Wisconsin, we believe you were created for a reason: to use your God-given gifts to help others, to live a life of self-sacrifice in a me-first world, to live a life that's Uncommon. Whether you're taking one of 50 plus online programs or learning with us in person on the shores of Lake Michigan, you'll be equipped to make an uncommon impact. Learn more at cuw.edu. Concordia University, Wisconsin. Live uncommon.
Showing support for KFUO is now easier than ever. You can sport a KFUO shirt, swag, or even socks by visiting our online store. Go to kfuo.org/store and order high-quality KFUO-branded merch. You no longer need to wait for our annual share-a-thon for a chance to show your KFUO spirit. Visually share and wear this ministry out in the world by checking out our selection. Every purchase helps to support our proclamation of Christ for you, anytime, anywhere. Go to kfuo.org/store.
Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We are talking about an opportunity to join the team here at KFUO at the LCMS International Center in St. Louis. So just a minute ago, we were talking about the bajillion things that Sarah does, and we have an opportunity for new talent to join us to assist in that. So publishing podcasts and social media, helping with the content that goes on social media and organizing that, keeping that all organized so that what is happening on our social media is consistent and clear about what, in communication of what we believe, what we teach, what we confess as Christians, as LCMS Lutherans. And there are a number of other things that go on behind the scenes here at KFUO. We have a nice, healthy, small team of people, our development team, Pastor Gribanaw and Mary Schmidt, who connect with all the people who are so generous and support KFUO. And then Jenny, who
basically runs the show.
Who, God bless her, has been here for over 30 years. And her chief task is corralling about 50 pastors a month.
Yeah.
Scheduling about 50 pastors a month to be on the air on Thy Strong Word, Sharper Iron, and sometimes other programs like Cross Defense or Concord Matters as well.
She's a rock star.
She is. She's been doing this a long time, and we're truly grateful that she is still willing to use her gifts and talents to do this, because if anyone's tried to schedule 50 pastors a month for recordings or live programs, it's challenging, and she does an amazing job. She has, and they know who she is when she's calling, because she's been doing this for a while. So we're so thankful for her. Then we have our production team, Ian, Jordan, and Dan and Aubrey, who work diligently at making sure that everything goes on the air on time, that it's edited correctly, and things like that that are being published as podcasts, or anything that has to be edited to go on the air. All those things, they work really hard at that, making sure that all those live operations and podcasting stuff gets published appropriately. I do. I just cheer everyone on. Gary is our executive director. I'm the associate executive director. Gary's been working on a number of things when it comes to our terrestrial radio operations, adding FM translators so our listeners can listen on FM here in the St. Louis area, and developing potentially more opportunities to broadcast beyond KFUO as well. And I get to be a part of that, and I get to co-host the Coffee Hour with you here each weekday, and I edit that audio. So if it's messed up or not published correctly, it's generally my fault, which is a lot of fun. I schedule guests for the Coffee Hour.
Yes, you do.
And
just how I ended up here as a guest.
That's true.
Me too.
I just said, hey guys, let's talk. You're the guest and the host.
I know. I have two sets of notes in front of me.
So I spend time doing that, lining up guests for that. I also coordinate our partner podcasts. So like End Goals podcast, God's Mission Here, which is a new podcast coming out this year.
Yeah, very soon.
Friends for Life, 5 Minutes with a Missionary.
Yep.
I'm forgetting something.
I'm looking at the wall to cheat, but yes. I think that's right. Those are the current, Lutheran Witness podcast too.
Oh, that's true. So coordinating some of those, our partner podcasts as well, working with our partners to help them publish so I get to do a lot of those things. And then just cheering on and encouraging our teams, supporting them, the rest of our team in what they're doing, and being thankful. I just spend most of my time being thankful that we have a lot of talented people on our team. And who helps us when we need to add more talent to our team? That's our friends in human resources here at the International Center. And Derek is here. And Derek didn't know this. We're going to throw a lightning round at him if we have time here before we wrap up today, because we didn't officially introduce him on the coffee hour yet. So that's always part of an introduction. Derek, what do you get to do in HR each day at the LCMS International Center?
What do I not get to do? It's amazing. Being able to see all of the different interdepartment workings of the Synod and KFUO and being so close to you guys, it's really nice to have the interaction with the teams. Just see it from a broad perspective, you get to work with radio, you get to work with missionaries, you get to work with youth gathering and national missions. It's amazing. So there's so many opportunities across the Synod that I never would have thought growing up in a LCMS grade school, going to the 1995 youth gathering in San Antonio. Yay. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be working for the Synod, but God called. I'm here, and I've been very blessed and very happy since working here. So, yeah, there's great opportunities, and my background is communications, so it's kind of getting back to my roots a little bit over at SIUE. But, I welcome opportunities to talk to you guys and recruit.
Right.
Need help.
Yeah. So what are some of the benefits of working in this building at the LCMS International Center?
There are plenty. Not only chapel every day, but there's volunteer opportunities. We go to Concordia Cemetery every year and do just routine landscaping. We went over to Merrimack Bluffs at the senior center and decorated for Christmas. Yeah. We do that every year, and the residents are so thankful when we do that. The chapel is the biggest thing for me. Is just a blessing to take a time through the day and just celebrate the Lord and just take a breath. And I never would have imagined I'd have an employer that would allow me to do that, and the volunteering time. It's caring, and it's showing the human side of human resources that I love to tap into. And that's, just being on a personal level is just so important. And having the interaction between the departments and helping them with their goals and their recruiting needs is critical.
Being relatively new in the last few years here at the International Center, what would you describe that onboarding process like, and what is onboarding like now for new team members when they join?
Well, we've modified it more since I've come on board, because I'm a huge proponent of getting that start onboarding day one and making the foundation of your future career here. You're going to meet with me no matter what department you're working with. So all the KFUO employees that start would meet with me. We go through our HR software. We go through a tour of the building. So you'll get to see how the International Center works and all the different levels and entities that we have here. We'll show you chapel. We'll show you the museum. We'll show you the commons and where you eat. And it's just, that onboarding sets the pace and the stage for the rest of your career. Mm-hmm.
So what is how would you describe the culture, workplace culture in the LCMS International Center?
Everybody's been great. Everybody's very accommodating. My manager, Jason Law, got set a perk to him. He is by far one of the most understanding and awesome managers I've ever worked with. Just having that Lutheran background and Christian background, it's completely different working in non-secular employment.
Yeah.
And just, everybody has deadlines. Everybody has pressure. There's drama here and there, but
we're human.
Yeah.
It happens. But okay, you didn't get something done on time. It's okay. Let's just make it happen again. Let's learn from our mistakes and move on. You don't see that just grudge lifestyle where it's just like, well, he didn't do this, she didn't do that. It's just very understanding and accommodating. If my son's sick, I can take time off. You know what? I've got a flat tire. This day is just not looking good for me to come into the International Center. I'm going to go ahead and work remote because I can do that and take the day. So it's very understanding, and the culture is just great. Everybody's really just caring and thoughtful. When we come together at Christmas, just because we did that last month, having a Christmas party is just great, and just seeing all of the different departments and entities in the same building and same space is wonderful.
So we have a new position here at KFUO, we're looking for new talent to join us. The digital media associate, working primarily with Sarah, being a part of the whole team here as well. So what does that process look like if someone is interested in this position? Obviously, they're going to go online to apply for that, correct?
Correct. There's lots of different sources when it comes to applying for the position. We post concurrently along with the lcms.org website under serve and then careers. We also post on Indeed, Glassdoor, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter. So you should be able to see from any of those platforms, whichever you use, on how to apply. I would say Indeed is probably the most applicants we get year over year. However, LCMS, it all comes in the same way. And so there'll be a couple of questions on whether or not you are located in the St. Louis area, because this is a local position. And then if you're an LCMS member, we'd like to know. For me, I just got back to membership at Zion Lutheran in Belleville. That's where I went to grade school. That's where I went to church in my high school year. So got the job here at the Synod and came back and rejoined my original church. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I'm excited to have another person on my team, since I am currently a team of one. So doubling my capacity to do things would be really, really great. Yeah. So if this is interesting for any of you out there, please apply and we'll see what happens.
Yes.
All right. So we promised a lightning round. We're going to have to make it fast because we're nearly out of time. But since you're new to the coffee hour anyway, we're going to ask you some of your favorites.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
First, your favorite cuisine.
Chicken wings.
Book. And we all assume the Bible, but
Bible.
Other than that.
Clive Cussler and Sahara.
Okay.
That's a very unique one. I wrote to him back in my 8th grade class, and he actually responded with an original script copy of part of the book of Rise the Titanic, which was another, fictional thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big sci-fi and fictional kind of action adventure book reader.
All right. Favorite movie?
Wow, that's a tough one. Favorite movie? There's so many.
Or the one that you would go home and watch right now?
Die Hard.
All right, there you go.
Favorite dessert?
Pumpkin pie.
Ooh, all right.
Yep.
Favorite vacation?
Hawaii. My uncle lives in Lahaina.
Oh, nice.
And thankfully, he was not a part of the fires that they had there. But before Lahaina was unfortunately burned, that was just gorgeous. It's a totally relaxing place to go.
Yeah.
Favorite office supply?
Yes. My favorite one.
Whiteout. Not the, old school, you got the chemical with the little glue thing where you paint, but no, the rolling whiteout.
That's awesome. Favorite hymn / song you sing in church?
Coming back, I would say any of the Psalms sung. Because that was something that I hadn't had access to for 13 years after being away from LCMS and joining my wife's church for a while because she's American Baptist. But getting back into the Psalms of singing just robbed me right back into grade school. And so I don't have a particular one, but it's just part of LCMS life, and I just love it.
Favorite Bible verse? There are so many.
Man. Was it Jeremiah 9 that said God has a plan for you? That was very near and dear because I wouldn't be here without him. The opportunity to join HR team and to be here in my role, I don't think I would have never imagined it. And he had a plan for me to be here, and I'm here. It's great.
Derek, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thanks for all your help with our team. And we also have a summer internship coming up. That'll be posted soon as well. Find out more about the Digital Media Associate position. We'll post the link to that in our program notes today as well. Thanks for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
No problem. Glad to be here.
You've been listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.